Hi, my Bio 120 students. Welcome to week 2. It's hard to believe, but we're already headed into the second week of our course. For just a minute, I wanted to review last week. We learned about the scientific method, and we gave examples of how we use it in our everyday lives because we do. I wanted to point out a couple of things about the scientific method. It's not that you just come up with an idea off the top of your head um, to design an experiment about. You have to do a lot of background reading, especially in the scientific journals, to figure out what the people before you have figured out about your problem or your issue. So it takes a lot of background work to even come up with a good hypothesis. And then, of course, you design an experiment and you do it over and over and over again. You never do it like you do in a biology lab. Usually you do an experiment one time. If you do it twice, you're lucky. But replication is terribly important in the scientific method. And you do experiments over and over and over and over and over again, week after week after week, to make sure that you're getting the same results. Because otherwise, the results might just be a fluke, something that's happening that week. So replication is terribly important. And the other thing that's important is peer review. And I know you hear a lot about it, but it is tremendously important. You have to publish your work in order for other scientists to look at it and see if they think it's valid, to run the same experiments, to validate what you've done. People can make arguments just based on their opinions, based on their experience. So peer review is terribly important. This is an issue sometimes, especially if you're a scientist who works for a company, because everything that you do belongs to the company, and so you will not have it published anywhere. So this actually hinders the scientific process. So I just wanted to point out a couple of things about the scientific method that we learned last week. Is terribly important for the scientific process because it helps us explain how the natural world works. It's our methodology of how we determine the way that things work in the natural world. So it's terribly important to the scientific process. Okay, let's head on into the material for this next week. This next week, you're going to be learning all about molecules, and they are, of course, important because they're the building block of everything that we know. So you have to know what molecules are. And you have to be able to describe the basic types, especially the organic molecules, when you're talking about biology. So the first thing that you need to do is read chapters 2 and 3 in your textbook, in that OpenStax textbook, about inorganic molecules and organic molecules, and the importance of water, and the importance of the element carbon. That's in the inorganic chapter. And then, of course, the organic molecules, the 4 groups: carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. So read about those molecules in your chapter. Read through the Module 2 overview. It is very good. It is a really good overview of those 2 chapters. So read through that because that will help you. Then you have discussion board postings. So take a look at those and what's required of you. Remember your deadlines on the discussion board postings. You have to have your first post done by Thursday night, and then your 2 response posts by Sunday night. And I want to encourage you, when you respond to someone else's post, to ask them questions. So these are conversations that we're having with each other. It's not, oh yeah, you did a great job, Of course, that's really good and nice. But I encourage you to ask each other questions and to dig a little bit deeper into our subject matter, because we're a community. Those of us who are in this course, we're a community, and so we have a relationship with each other right now, and we're trying to learn from each other and ask questions and learn things. So ask questions in your discussion board postings, especially those response posts. Okay, then you have a journal entry that's due, and you will discuss the properties of carbon and why carbon is so important, why it is the backbone of the organic molecules. And you will also be discussing the link between fossil fuels and carbon dioxide that's released into the atmosphere. So you will have to do some reading to find out more about that. And that will be your journal entry. There's a video for you to watch about reliable resources, and it's a really good video about how to look at a website and determine whether it is a good one or a not so good one. And there are so many bad ones out there, especially when it comes to science. So many. I can't even tell you. My major field is microbiology, and there are so many bad websites out there having to do with microbiology that I usually have to steer students to good websites. So take a look at that Reliable Sources video. It's really short, but it's really helpful. And Module 3, which is coming up the next week, requires that you have a topic chosen for your final project. So I want you to read about that, read through that list, see if you're interested in any of those that are listed. You may choose your own, but I have to approve it, and you need to send me an email message about that, and you need to do that this week. I would suggest if you're thinking about using a different topic besides the ones that are in the list. But I'm very flexible and open to your ideas about topics outside of that list. So do contact me if you're interested in that. And also, I told you that I would post some of my nature pictures, so I have done that on this PowerPoint slide. And I'll just tell you where they are and what they are. The bottom left one is a picture of what's called Botany Bay. And we call this the boneyard because a bunch of trees have fallen down on the beach and they're left in the surf. And it makes for really good pictures. The next picture is from a wildlife management area here in South Carolina where sunflowers are planted for the dove shoots later on in September. And here are some of the sunflowers, and that is just a fantastic thing to see. It's absolutely amazing. Now, it is so hot in July when those sunflowers are blooming, especially in South Carolina, hot and humid. So it takes some blood, sweat, and tears to get those pictures. The next picture over is a picture of two dolphins out in nature. I did not throw them fish or whatever to make them jump like this. They jumped right in front of me exactly like you see them. It looks like a picture from SeaWorld, but it happened off of the coast of South Carolina, right out from Seabrook Island. And then finally, the last picture over there on the right is a picture of a baby alligator. They are so cute. Try not to get too close though, because if there's a baby alligator, there is a mother alligator right nearby, and mother alligators are very protective. And if you'll notice in my house, I can't ever do this right. Nope, that way. There are a couple of my other pictures right here behind me on the wall. And in fact, the one at the bottom, which you can't see very well, it's a shrimp boat, a sunset, and a dolphin in the picture. And that won one of the prizes that I won from the South Carolina Wildlife Photo Contest. So I just wanted to share those with you because I enjoy nature photography very much. I hope you have a great week. And as usual, if you need anything, if you have any questions, please, 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 please email me. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. I promise I can. So I encourage you to ask for help because I'm here for you. I also have that phone number, and you'll have to leave me a message on that Google Voice. But I will get right back to you as soon as I can, and emails I do the same. So please do contact me. I hope you have a really good week, and let me know if you need anything.